Hello and welcome once again to our study Pathshala. Today we will discuss about some laws and rules in the ecological science. So let's start. First is Shelford's law of tolerance. This law was formulated by Victor E. Shelford and it was based on environmental factor which can limit the living of any organisms. This law of tolerance shows three zones of on which organisms can live: a optimum zone, a stress zone, and a intolerance zone. So in the optimum zone, organisms grow in its maximum because the limiting factors are optimum in this zone, and when the limiting factors are so extremes, the population survival starts to drop. And if the organism's performance put on y-axis and the environmental factors put on x-axis, a bell-shaped curve is obtained. So let's see the graph. This is the graph. You can see on the y-axis the performance of organisms and on the x-axis the environmental gradient. The 5 zone, as you can see in this graph, actually 3 zones. This is the zone of optimum. In this zone, organisms show high growth rate and highest peak of the curve. Next is zone of stress, both the side of the bell-shaped curve. In this zone, organisms starts to drop, as you can see in these two zones. That means organisms are surviving but in reduced capacity. Next is zone of intolerance. As you can see in this zone, no organisms are living. That means we cannot find any organisms in the zone of intolerance. This zone is intolerable for the organisms. On the basis of the tolerance level, organisms may be either steno or uri. Steno and uri are the prefixes. So steno means narrow range of selection. Uri means wide range of selection. Selection on the basis of any characteristics may be water, food selection, temperature, habitat, salinity, and so on. So if the characteristics is water and the tolerance level is narrow, then it should be called as stenohydric. And if the selection is wide range of tolerance selection, then it should be called as urihydric. Stenophagic means narrow range of food selection. Uriphagic means wide range of food selection. Thermal means temperature. That means organisms can tolerate narrow range of temperature, while eurythermal means organisms can tolerate wide range of temperature. Stenoecious means organisms can have a selection of habitat of narrow range, while eudicious means wide range of habitat selection. Stenohaline, haline comes from the salinity. That means organisms which have narrow range of salinity called as stenohaline, while euryhaline means wide range of salinity tolerance. Next is Bargmann's rule. It was first named after scientist Carl Bargmann, and it was based on thermal adaptation in endotherms. Basically, some scientists put their laws, give their theories on thermal adaptations in endotherms mainly. So first is Boltzmann. Boltzmann's rule was based on the ratio of body volume to surface area. Surface area by body volume. If this ratio is low, then the temperature loss is also low, and if the loss of temperature is low, this kind of organisms we can find out in the colder climate. And if this ratio shows surface area is higher and body volume is respective in lower, so the value should be higher, and if the value is higher, the loss of temperature is also high. And this kind of organisms we can find out in the warmer region, because they need to lose their temperature from the body to balance it, and in the colder region they need to conserve the temperature or the heat from the extreme cold climate. As you can see in this slide, that the polar bear has a large body mass, but surface area is low respective to its body mass. So the ratio of the surface area to its body volume is also low, and the heat loss is also less. But in warmer climatic region, the body mass is low respective to its surface area. That means surface area is high. So the ratio is also high, and as the ratio is high, so the heat loss occurs in faster basis. These are some pictures of some colder climatic animals and some hot climatic animals. As you can see, the colder climatic animals have larger body size compared to the hot climatic animals. So next is the Allen's rule. Allen's rule also based on the thermal adaptations in endotherms, and it is an extension of the Boltzmann's rule. It based on the body appendages or the extremities. Body appendages means ear, nose, tail, limbs. Limbs means hands and legs. The warmer region animals show large body extremities. If the body extremities is large, then the temperature loss is also high, and if the body extremities is smaller in size, the temperature loss also less. That means the relation should be in a proportionate relation, right? So as you can see in this slide, this bear has large ears, while the polar bear has comparatively small ears. That means small body extremities. That means it has a tendency to dissipate its body temperature in faster basis, while it can dissipate its body temperature in slower basis. That means it can conserve its body temperature, which is very much essential for the cold climatic animals. These are some pictures for Allen's rule. This fox have big ears, and this fox has small ears, and camel has long legs, while this yak has small legs, which are also the body extremities. Next is Hess's rule. It is also an extension of the Boltzmann's rule, and it depends upon the heart and weight ratio. That means if the heart size is high, and body size is low, that means the total value is high. And if the ratio value is high, this means the animal or the organism should be from the colder region, because from the colder region the animals have larger heart in respect to its body size, while in the warmer region the heart size is lower compared to its body size. That means the ratio should be low, and if the ratio should be low, the value will be small, and we can say in a reciprocal way that if the value is high, the organisms from a colder region, and if the ratio is low, then the organism should be from the warmer region. Next is Glauber's rule. This rule based on the pigmentations of the endotherms, and it is also an adaptations in the endotherms. This rule was discovered by scientist Wilhelm Lambert Glauber. It states that the animals from the warmer region have a tendency to be darker because of the more pigmentations, while in the colder climatic animals have a lighter skin tone or lighter pigmentation because of less pigmentations. This pigmentations mainly occurred by the melanin. As you can see in this slide, this is a deer from cold climate, a tiger and a fox. These animals show a tendency to lighter skin color, while this tiger and this fox from hot region, that is why they show a darker pigmentation. Next is Thorson's rule. It was for ectotherms, mainly marine invertebrates, and this rule named after Gunnar Thorson by S.A. Mileikowski. It states that in the low latitude means the temperature is high, and if the temperature is high, the organisms lay high amount of eggs, and the juvenile from these eggs are planktotrophic. Here is a mistake, so you can correct this, that it should be planktotrophic. And in the cold temperature, that means higher latitude means cold temperature. In the cold temperature, the organisms have a tendency to lay less number of eggs, and the juvenile from these eggs are dependent on yolk. That means these eggs are mainly yolk feeding eggs. Next is Rennes's rules. It was proposed by Bernhard Rennes in 1950, and it was based on birds' wing size. We can see that in this slide mainly this vulture and eagle mainly belongs to warmer climatic regions, and they have a wider wings, you can see, but these birds are from colder climatic region. As you can see, they have slightly narrower wings compared to these birds. It is written in this slide. So next is Jordan's rule. It was also for ectotherms, as because fish is an ectothermic animal. It states that in the colder region the fishes show more vertebra. That means if the temperature is cold, vertebra number is high, and if the temperature is high, that means the vertebrae number is low. That means we can say that it is a disproportionate relation, because as the temperature increases, vertebra decreases. So we can say that it is a disproportionate relation. So these are for today's class, and if it is helpful for you, please like, share and subscribe my channel. And if you have any doubt regarding previous 3 classes, please you can ask on the comment section below. And if you have any preferences to learn from the syllabus, mainly NET and GATE oriented, you can ask me in this channel as well. Thank you.